Good afternoon, everybody. This is Damon Bond of Bond Realty Group, licensed real estate broker in the states of Connecticut and New York. Hope everybody was doing well. Today is March 12th, 2018, Monday, March 12th, 2018. Hope everybody's doing good, Didn't do anything last week. I mean, I did stuff last week, but I didn't do any broadcasts last week. This is one of those weeks we had that nor'easter or snowstorm. Wasn't too bad where I was, but in any case, that knocked some power out. Luckily, I'm fine. Power's fine and everything like that. And also, we're expecting some snow tonight, so we'll see how that goes. I think that's further up New England and not southern New England, over here close to New York, but we shall see. Hopefully, it won't be too bad. And also, I was kind of had a slight cough, so if you hear me cough, I do apologize, but that's been affecting me as well. So if you have any questions, you can always email me at dbond011@gmail.com. That's dbond011@gmail.com. You can always give me a call, 203-394-8123, 203-394-8123. All right. So today is interesting. It's not really a new topic, but it's something I've been seeing lately in the media. And there's a couple articles. One of them I have, the other one I don't have, but it's online. You can dig it up yourself. And I want to talk about black ownership in real estate. That's what I really want to focus on. Now, I know I usually talk about generic terms in terms of home buying and selling and everything, but this is really directed towards the black community. But if you're not black, feel free to listen in because, it's real estate and, real estate, hey, everybody can gain from real estate. But this is really directed towards the black community because I am black. I like being black. I am black. And I care about black people. I care about all people, but I care about black people. Just like, I care about, all parents, but I care about my parents, especially. So you get what I'm saying. Okay, so a couple of things. One article, which I don't have, unfortunately, was in the Washington Post some time ago. It was about housing in D.C., which is, astronomically expensive. D.C. had the cost of housing. I don't see how anybody can live there, especially if you're, a government employee, either at the, city level or the federal level in the case of D.C. But this article is titled, "That Was No Typo. The median net worth of black Bostonians really is $8. So here it is yourself. This was actually in December. But it came out now. I just got a hold of it now, rather I should say. But it was from December, the middle of December, 2017. So it's pretty recent, and that is correct. And you can get this on the Boston Globe. Is there? But just to read you a couple things over here. All right. So the median net worth for non-immigrant African-American households in the greater Boston region is $8, according to the Color of Wealth in Boston, a 2015 report by the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston, Duke University, and the New School. Okay? And then it goes on to say, and just to answer that question, the Globe Spotlight team analyzed data, launched surveys, and conducted hundreds of interviews. The Color of Wealth in Boston report, which is part of a 5-city study looking at wealth disparities among communities of color, was one piece of information that Spotlight examined. Here are the whys and hows of the study, according to researchers in the report itself. Researchers conducted phone interviews about the financial status of households in Boston, Los Angeles, Miami, Tulsa, Washington, D.C. The survey asked respondents about their assets, liabilities, financial resources, personal savings, and investment activities. The cities were selected because of their diversity allowed researchers to data among subgroups within border racial categories. In Boston, the report said researchers focused on multi-generational African Americans, referred here as U.S. blacks, aka Black Americans, Caribbean blacks, including Haitians, Cape Verdeans, both black and white, Puerto Ricans, and Dominicans. A total of 403 people were surveyed. The household median net worth was $247,500 for whites, $8 for U.S. blacks, the lowest of all 5 cities, $12,000 for Caribbean blacks, $3,020 for Puerto Ricans, and $0 for Dominicans. That's not a typo either. This is the article, not me saying this. The sample size for Cape Verdeans was too small to calculate net worth, the report said. A lot of people have the impression that the major way in which people amass wealth is through savings of their income. Out of their income, said William A. Doherty Jr., a professor of public policy at Duke University, who was one of the lead investigators of the study. That's not the case. Net worth, the reporter said, is determined by subtracting debts from assets. In this instance, both financial savings and checking accounts, money market funds, government bonds, stocks, retirement accounts, business equity and life insurance, and tangible houses, vehicles, and other real estate assets were included. The debts included were credit card balances, student installment and car loans, medical debt, and mortgages. So this is basically what the crux of the article is. Now, let me just say this. Home ownership is good, and a couple things here, right? I can understand if some people don't want to be landlords, right? And as the report said correctly, there are other ways in which you can amass income. You're not going to do it through a 9-to-5 job. I mean, you can use your 9-to-5 job to leverage income, but is what you do with that money, such as investing, all right? So you receive, let's say, $70,000, $80,000 a year, right? It's good to save. Save is important. Americans overall, all Americans, regardless of color and ethnicity, have a low savings, all right? But with that said, if you want to multiply, if you want your money to grow exponentially, you need to invest. Now, I'm only going to focus on the real estate aspect because, after all, I'm a real estate broker, so that makes sense. All right? So I tell people all the time, here's the thing. If you want to have legacy or generational wealth, right, one of the easiest things, there's several things you could do, but one of the easiest things you could do is, your house. If you buy a house today, right, when you pass, which hopefully won't be for a long time, but your children, when they're old and grown and have kids themselves, that is something you could have for your children, right? That's what a lot of other families do. When they pass, right, the house, mom and dad dies, right? Mom and dad are both gone, right? The children usually sell the house and die and, divvy up the proceeds, accordingly. That's usually the case. We don't have a tendency to do that, which is not good. When I say we, I mean we as black people don't have a tendency to do that, right? So we could do that. It's not hard to do, right? Just that one premise. And as I gave, broadcast before about how to buy a home and whatnot, clean up your credit, all that's important. All that's the equation, right? You don't want to grow old with bad credit, right? Even if you're not buying a house. I talk about why, how to get a house with, 3.5% down. You can buy a house with 5% down payment. Let me tell you something. Even though the net worth of blacks, according to this article here, is $8, right, which may or may not be true, but apparently they got the numbers. Regardless, we all know that the savings for blacks is pretty low. But here's the thing. Doesn't mean that blacks do not have any economic buying power. Right? This is demonstrated through Black Panther, right? I know a lot of people saw Black Panther, but black people supported Black Panther in droves, okay? Black Panther topped $1 billion. That was, a lot of black people did that. Black people went out to see that. Remember, so the money's there. We have the money for certain things, for certain activities, right? We spend. Corporations know this. So instead of spending all that money, I'm not saying don't have fun with your money, right? But instead of using all your money for this, giving it to other people, use that for yourself and your family, right? Buy a home instead of renting an apartment, right? You could buy yourself a condo. Start off small, and don't think about selling that condo, right? Let's say you start off with a small condo, right? Fine. You start with a small condo, but don't necessarily sell your condo. Hold on to it when you get that other house, right? Rent it out. Hold on to that. So that could be the house for one of your kids. So if you have 2 children, ideally, and middle-class people can do this, right? Middle-class black people can do this. Ideally, it doesn't have to be a big extravagant house. It could be a little condo, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom condo, right? And depending on where you are in certain areas, just look out for the deals. If you have 2 children, leave them 2 kids a house, right? If you have a boy and a girl, when you here's your house, son, here's your house, daughter. You could do this. These little things that you can do to help to help wealth grow. That's what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen. So it's imperative that we do these things over here. It's imperative that, we have these things put in place so that way we don't have to have our net worth being only $8 according to the Boston Globe, right? We can have a higher net worth. It's not difficult to do. It's not going to be done overnight, right? But it's not difficult, something that we can accomplish. So just keep that in mind. So that way we can have that wealth for our future generations, for your kids and your grandkids and their kids after that. This is what all the big people did. Think about this. Donald Trump, President Donald Trump. People tend to forget Donald Trump was a real estate guy. Fred Trump, his father, started the real estate thing. Donald took it over. Donald worked for him. So these are some things we talk about. So real estate is very powerful. Don Peoples happens to be, one of the wealthiest black men, in America. Don Peoples is a real estate guy. He got into real estate. He's a real estate guy. Got ventures going on in New York and Washington, D.C. and Miami and Las Vegas and several, I'm running out of places, right? Look him up. Don Peoples is another example of that. So these are all real estate people. One white guy, one black guy. But the bottom line is no one's shutting you out from that. It is a possibility. And just add on thing about home ownership, particularly among black folks, is that, remember, home ownership is a pride, if you will, because you're going to be concerned if there's garbage in your front yard, and it's a pride, and that represents something. If you will, you come together as a community, that represents pride because it's something you're working for. This is something that you have. This is something that you acquired. Now, I want to give a message also because I've seen it with my own eyes. Where people who passed, right? People, my age, their parents had passed, and they were lucky enough to leave them with a house. I've seen it before. However, they were ignorant on how to keep that house. They were ignorant, right? So it doesn't hurt to take a home ownership class because they never had to deal with that before. So I've seen it where, the parents passed and it was a 2-family house. The house was already paid for, almost nearly paid for, and basically, all you're doing is paying for the taxes and a very, very low mortgage, all right, or a single-family house where mom and dad passed, or mom passed, whatever it may be, and you got it just because, you're the survivorship of whatever it is. And I've seen a lot of these houses go into foreclosure. I'm like, how can this happen? They set up for them. And the reason why is because they don't do things like pay property taxes, right? I've seen properties that became derelict because they didn't upkeep it, right? They didn't do the outsiding of the property, right? The foundation was crumbling. They didn't take care of it. So even if let's say you're one of the few lucky ones, because I've seen this among black people, right? Where you were able to acquire a property, like I said, mom or dad or both passed on and you got the property, right? I've seen it where it went up for auction and the city would take it, what have you. Upkeep your property, all right? Your property is collateral. That's stuff you have. That's money right there, all right? So keep that. Property is power. You don't think so? Ask Donald Trump. Ask Don Peoples, all right? They will tell you that property is power. So I hope this was informational for you. I know, like I said before, I just felt I had to, talk about this. So we get on board as black people. So we get on board in terms of getting into to the real estate game. And like I said, it doesn't have to be overly complicated. That's the thing. It doesn't have to be overly complicated. And real estate may not be for you. I get it, but certainly put everything aside, right? Because obviously real estate is my game. Just do something else. Take that money. Save is important. Save, but put in that bank account is not going to help it grow. Not that much at least. But certainly do other things such as stocks, bonds, mutuals, and real estate. These are things that you can do with any things you have. I did a thing on tax returns, tax return, that could be your down payment. If you're getting $5,000, $10,000 back, that's your down payment that's the down payment for your home, that tax return, right? You can use that for your home to start your little thing, if you will. So, like I said, there's many things you could do, and I just want you to think about real estate differently. I don't want you to think about, this is my home where I'm going to, live there and die and be there for 30, 40 years, right? That's good. That's good. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I want you to look at it from a different way because other communities are doing this, okay? Many of our other people are doing this that way. Many ethnic white communities are doing this way, whether it's Russians or Poles, they're doing this way. The Chinese do it. The Koreans do it. The Latinos, they do it as well. Everybody's doing this. I don't want us to miss this bandwagon. I want us to get on this bandwagon, right, and jump on it so we could build wealth. We could build black wealth, all right? Hope this information was useful. Once again, if there's any problems, any questions, you always, email me. I get patched sometimes, dbond011@gmail.com. That's dbond011@gmail.com. You can always call me, 203-394-8123. I will respond to calls. It'll take me a little time because I'm busy these days, but I will respond to them. And, you know, on Facebook, like it, please. You know, YouTube, like it. And I hope everybody be well. If you are in the tri-state area, particularly, you know, here in southern New England, you know, Connecticut, Fairfield County, and, you know, Westchester County, New York, please be safe for the storm. Make sure you have everything put in place. Hopefully it won't be that bad. Stay well, stay safe, and have a good day. Bye-bye.